All right, you guys, welcome to the Before You Go Pro Locker Room Show. I am your host, Coach Terrence Wood. I know that you guys aren't used to just seeing me on the show, but unfortunately, Q, the guru, is having some tech difficulties. He's a guru in football, but he might not be a guru with the internet. So hopefully he can join us here lately. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, and you guys know that we get after it just like Eric Foss says, get pumped. Here we go. We bring it every single week, you guys, in the Locker Room Show. This is where we come in, close the doors, we share the truth with our football players, our parents, our coaches that want to know more about the football industry. And we have been lucky because it looks like my man Q, the guru, has officially got the internet going. How's it going, superstar, man? Is everything good with the internet in Houston?
Man, I think so, man. Can you hear me, Coach?
I got you. I got
you.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, Xfinity owes me some money right now, but we'll talk about that later.
There you go. There you go. We're going to hunt them down later because you know, Q, we got business to tend to. This is another week, man, where, I mean, it was some serious stuff going on this week in the football industry. And Eric Foss, I see you, baby. Thank you for joining us. I see Jimmy Rucker coming in. He says, let's
Big
get
Jimmy.
it. You know we're gonna get after it, Jimmy. And unfortunately, this first topic, man, is something that we hate these. The hard ones. We see these young men rise to superstardom, and unfortunately, some of them fall quickly off the pedestal. And unfortunately, the young man that you guys see on the screen, DeWayne Haskins, has lost his life. At one point, many people would have loved to be DeWayne Haskins, but as we see here, you guys, he's no longer with us. So this is just tremendously unfortunate. Memorial services are coming up. Played at Ohio State, obviously All-American, first-round draft choice, drafted by Washington, played with the Steelers, and was hit by a moving vehicle, I believe a truck. And, there might have been something going on in his life that we don't know about, Q. But when we see these type of stories, man, it obviously hurts your heart because there was so much potential, for the young man on and off the field. Everybody says great things about him that knew him personally. What were your thoughts when you saw this with DeWayne?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that it's some footage that's kind of floating around. I thought foul play initially. I guess that's just me, in the way that my thinking is sometimes. It's really unfortunate, and I think what makes it so bad is it really was his time because the Steelers were transitioning out of that Ben Roethlisberger era, and they gave him the keys to the Mercedes, and it's one of those things where you hate to hear that, and it's real unfortunate. I know a lot of people have, mentioned that, he did have his instances of being immature, and with immaturity obviously comes bad decisions, but you just hate to hear that about the young man.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely blessings out to his family, and hopefully they can find some sort of peace. Loss, especially of this nature too soon, is always tragic. And to get to our next topic, you guys, it is something definitely a lot more light, and that many of you young superstars might really need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
You might be somebody that's about to get into college ball and eventually looking for a pro shot. You may already be in college ball checking out this podcast and looking for a pro shot. But Q, the XFL says they're not playing around. Now, this was a league that came out when we were active. We were coming out of college and we were looking to put some dollars in our back pocket, man. But the XFL announces 8 new head coaches for their return in 2023. The USFL is already set to kick off, I think maybe even this weekend. So some spring leagues that are getting after it. And
Right.
the XFL, man, has coaches that got major college and pro experience. Being a former player yourself and maybe weighing some pro opportunities, would you sway to the league that's got the better coaches, or does that not really matter? Is it all about the Benjamins? What would Q the Guru be thinking coming out of Kansas right now?
Well, you know what, Coach? That's a good question. I would be looking obviously at, how can I get my shot transition into the NFL if I'm one of those guys that fell through the cracks and has the ability but didn't get an opportunity to go free agent or better yet get drafted. Make no mistake, the USFL, you have some great coaches. We'll have some good players as well as front office personnel. But the USFL, if you look at your history with pro football, they were the ones that were rivaling the NFL and were making some serious waves all the way back in the 80s.
Good point. Good point.
All the way back when Herschel Walker and those guys, remember, Coach, I was telling you, Donald Trump, he was the original owner of the New Jersey Generals. So the USFL, they already have a name, for those that know the history. So, the opportunity is going to be there, and whichever ways, will be paying me, and where I got a coach and give me an opportunity to get my shot in the league, that's where I'm going. Either league.
Hey, and we're all for it, you guys. If there's more jobs, like we said a couple weeks ago, that means on the field, off the field. So more jobs means more people being able to further their careers, get more film, and just be patient with that transition into real life. So hopefully you guys support these leagues, support the USFL, support the XFL, go to the games if they're in your city, watch it on TV. There's some good talent out there for sure. Definitely. So getting into our next topic, Q, and this is one. Yeah, this is Cam, he was making some moves a few years ago, NFL MVP, and then recently things have kind of been going in the wrong direction for Big Cam. And this one, man, even my mother-in-law hit me to this story because, with the ladies, this caught their attention. And unfortunately, Cam is just saying things that are getting him eaten up on social media. So basically, not verbatim, but said that, women need to kind of stay in their place. And a key attribute that every woman needs to have is some good cooking skills, Guru. And if they don't have the good cooking skills, if they ain't got the spice, then they're not going to be in his kitchen. So what's your opinion, man, on Cam? Do you think that this is going to possibly not have him behind center in the fall? Do you think that his best days are behind him? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know. In my opinion, Cam, he can be a solid backup, but I don't think he's ever going to be the Cam Newton that we had seen in years past. I guess that's what these guys have publicists for. When you're doing interviews, you still have to be mindful. And guys, even your high schoolers that are listening to the show now, learn how to do interviews, especially, if you're a highly recruited kid, get used to it. They will take words and they will twist them, and the media will at times misquote you, and then all of a sudden you've created yourself a problem and you didn't even mean exactly what was being printed, but you can't unprint it now. So maybe it was some things that they took out of context, but sometimes it's better to just keep your personal opinion to yourself. You're going to save yourself a ton of trouble. Plus, to be honest with you, Coach, probably need to be talking more about Cam's wardrobe selection even than his playing, because he needs a new wardrobe specialist, because a guy comes in looking like that'll be on the next show.
So you say the wardrobe and how he's talking about people need some help, huh?
Well, come on, man. The dude's coming in with a 10-gallon hat, man, and a Rowdy Piper kilt on, and you got enough nerve to be commenting
and talking about me. That's a good point, man.
And some riding boots on.
Yeah, and there's just sticky topics, you guys. Come on, with the outdated comments, you guys don't even go that route. So we're getting to our next topic, you guys. And if you're joining us for the very first time, I am Coach Terrence Wood. The gentleman that you see on the screen is Q, the guru, former players, and currently I work with players on a daily basis. So a lot of the topics, you guys, that we're covering are real-time topics, things that you guys are going to go through, things that you need to know about. And this next one, Q, former player from the University of Oregon, is suing not only the University of Oregon, but also the NCAA and former coach Willie Taggart, saying that he was overworked, man, that during Taggart's time at the University of Oregon, guys were throwing up, guys were passing out, that basically, they were highly paid slaves in his mind. What's your opinion now that he's suing the NCAA, and also the university and the coach? Do you think that young men have merit in this situation? What would it take for a young man to have merit as far as his treatment at a university?
You know what, Coach? That's really kind of hard to say. I mean, you're talking about a Power Five, type of school, especially Oregon, and that's pretty much what happened to my alma mater. At that time, 2006 to 2008, when Coach Mangino was there, that's why he ended up losing his job when we had won the Orange Bowl and were ranked as high as number 2 in the country. Okay, Kansas was. Mizzou was 1, we were 2. And he ended up losing his job after taking our program to those heights because a kid, accused him of the same situation, over being overworked or whatever the case may be. Well, what exactly is overworked? How do you define that exactly? Because it's the same thing in college football, any college sport, but especially football. It's about a coach pushing you beyond your limits. That's how you improve. That's how you become a better man and take that with you. And that's how you become a better player. And a lot of these kids, it seems like from this generation, they're not used to that. Because, Coach, I know you can attest, if you haven't ran sprints and thrown up from running sprints, you're probably not working hard enough in regards to our ear. That's always been the case. It's always been the case. That's what gives you your character and your mental toughness. So I don't.
Do you think there needs to be a quote unquote referee around the program that kind of, I'm not going to say a third party, but maybe they're hitting too much or something? Do you think there needs to be somebody that's overlooking these programs?
I don't believe that at all, Coach. I believe as a player, you need to understand what you're signing up for. It's the same thing in regards to military personnel. You need to fully understand that it's not all about NIL deals, and it's about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything that comes with that, being a Division I football player. Bottom line.
Good point. Good point. A lot of people want to go D1, but there's a lot that comes with D1. These coaches have multi-million-dollar contracts. It's not about tea and cookies. There's going to be some work behind it. Trust me, you guys.
Indeed.
And we're getting to, speaking of college coaches, our next topic, and that's college coaches on the other side of the coin, Q, complaining about the business behind the game. And a lot of these coaches are saying, hey, if a young man commits to my school, he needs to honor his commitment. There's too many young men who are committing and then not honoring their commitment, Q, and it puts us in a bad spot. If you're the dad of a hot wide receiver coming out of Houston, and University of Houston, Texas, Tennessee's looking at them.
Sure.
What's your opinion on how loyal your son needs to be to these universities?
There is no loyalty, Coach. We talk about this all the time. Matter of fact, I wanted to make note, actually, the quarterback, JT Daniels. JT Daniels is going from, 5-star kid. He's going from USC, folks, to Georgia. Now he's going to West Virginia in the Big 12. There is no loyalty. It's about, right now, everything is changing. It's about finding your place, because your coach is only as loyal as his next opportunity. As
Talk
much
to
as
me.
he may like you as a kid, as great a player as you might be, if a bigger opportunity comes and that check is the right number, your coach more than likely is going to do what's best for him. So you and your parents and your family have to do what's best for you. That's why it's business. That's why we're here with Before You Go Pro, to explain and break down the business of college and pro football. It's always going to come down to dollars, cents, and opportunities. Period.
So in your mind, the coaches they basically, hey, it's par for the course.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's to me, the audacity of coaches even making that statement. Because that same coach that made that statement might not even be there next season or season after next because of a bigger paycheck. And another opportunity.
Great point.
We've
Great
seen that.
point.
We've seen that way too much. It's too much money flying around. For to establish loyalty with anyone, you have to do what's best for you.
You have to do what's best for you, and you will get pressure, you guys. You'll get pressure from these coaches for you to honor your decisions, for you to commit maybe before you're ready. So you guys have to keep in mind the coach's going to do what's best for him and his family. You need to do what's best for you and your family. Stay
Absolutely.
cordial, use your manners, but do what's best for you and your family. And talking
Right.
about what's best for the locker room show is the lightning round. So we are officially to the lightning round, which is a fan favorite in the locker room. If you guys are not familiar with the lightning round, this is our version, you guys, of word association, where whoever our guest is, and obviously tonight is our very own Q, the guru, is basically put through a gauntlet of words, of things that they have to associate with whatever's on their mind at that time. Now, obviously, we want them to keep it clean during the lightning round, but whatever comes to their mind first, that's what we want them to drop on us. They got 60 seconds to get it done, and we think we got a good list for our very own Q, the guru, tonight, and we'll see how he does. Now, our locker room record, I believe, is 10, right, Q?
Yeah, 10's a number right now. I believe actually it was with my good teammate Carl Neesmith. So he's got the number right now.
Carl hit 10 and was cooking like a big dog. And we got Jimmy coming back in. He said, hey, it's business first. Loyalty comes after business has been established.
That's facts. That's facts, big dog. That is facts.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So and Miss Cindy, Mama Cindy, good family friend of ours, a long time. Used to take care of my wife, man. Nice. Comes in and she says, I agree with Jimmy. Hey, you gotta show me something before we give you any loyalty. Yeah, so I hear you guys definitely on that. And as far as the lightning round, let's get it popping. We got 60 seconds, you guys. And if Q gets above 10, which is very, very fast if you get above 10, then he gets a very good gift from the locker room show, which is going to include a dinner, a hotel stay, and that's going to happen right before we get to the season. We're going to say who that winner is right now. Carl Neesmith, Q's former teammate from the Kansas Jayhawks, is the leader at 10. Now, Q, your best is 9, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we in
all right.
See what we can do tonight.
So we're going to see what we can do tonight. Here. All right, let's get the stopwatch ready to go. And we are officially ready. We ain't going to cheat you on time. We're going to start the watch before we get going. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's get it. Break the huddle.
All right. Number 1, Nebraska old coach Tom Osborne. Starting.
I got top 3 college coaches of all time. Hands down. Legend.
Troy Aikman.
Best Cowboys quarterback ever.
Joe Mixon, Super Bowl running back.
Man, legendary in his own right. I'd say underrated. Definitely underrated.
You going to the prom, you wearing Jordans or dress shoes?
I'm wearing Jordans for sure. The 11s.
He's
All
going
day.
in the J. Marcus Mariota, former Oregon Duck.
I like where he's at now. I think he'll do some damage with his new team.
Derrick Henry, the king.
I'd say the most punishing running back of the current era.
Somewhere you put your money other than the bank.
Old school. I put mine in my sock.
Jameis Winston. 57
man.
seconds.
Flop.
Oh, and there's the time. And he said flop. Oh, Jameis Winston. Jameis, I don't know if you're listening, but you got 1 or 2 more years in you. We're gonna see what you got. So let's see what the guru got here. He got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So I think the Joe Mixon cost you a few seconds.
Yeah, I didn't think about that one. Oh, in the
internet. We'll blame it on the internet.
Man, no, that was some good ones tonight, Coach.
No,
James
man.
Winston on crab leg stealing self, man.
Yeah. So you said Troy Aikman, best Cowboys quarterback of all time, and Tom Osborne, all top 3 all time. Yeah. That's big. You know, when you think of the Sabins and the Bowdens. Obviously, Henry's a bruiser. He said keep the money in the sock. And you like where Marcus Mariota is. So that's big time, man. And we are on to our last segment. And thank you guys so much for joining us. And Eric Falls out of Alabama says legs. He might be talking about the crab legs with Jameis there. Who got caught up? I don't know. Is he still with the Saints, or did they let him go?
I thought he was still with the Saints. You know what? And I really thought when he was with Tampa Bay, I thought he was really going to be the guy, man. He just never really just kind of developed into what a lot of people thought, you know, that he was going to be, man. So that's unfortunate. And we see that a lot at the quarterback position. That's tough.
Yeah. No, that's a great point,
that's
man.
Tough.
And hopefully a lot, you know, surrounding your receivers, your O lineman, your O coordinator. A lot goes into that quarterback position, man.
Agreed.
So you guys, we got some QBs out there. You guys stay strong. But we are on to our next segment, you guys, which is our last segment of the night. We always try to bring some food for thought. We always try to bring something practical to the locker room that many of you athletes can take to the bank that you guys can use in your own journey. And tonight, I think, is a good one, Q. You know, this one comes from basically our very own program. We run a program for student athletes as far as development and recruiting football players at the high school and junior college level with before you go pro. And we have an athlete that submitted a question, Q, and he says, well, I'm going to kind of pose it to you. He said, when do you know? But I'm going to pose it to you. When you were at Kansas, man, and obviously you had your academic commitments and your athletic commitments, but looking back, was there any element of the campus life or off the field in Lawrence that you would have taken advantage of more knowing what you know today? Is there anything that you think a player, you know, whether it was something personally, you know, a hobby or something, is there anything during that 4 or 5 year period that you were in Lawrence, Kansas that you look back and you like, I wish I would have done that more or taken advantage of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you exactly what it is. And that's a great, great question. Easy to answer. One of the main things I would have done when I was in college, and Coach, I'm sure you can agree, is I would have interacted more and established more relationships with people outside the squad.
Okay.
That's what I would have done, because your team becomes your family, and it's like everywhere you go, they go, vice versa. You're practice together, a lot of classes you're together. But I would have turned up the notch on establishing more relationships with people that are just of the student body that weren't on the team.
That's a good point.
That's definitely something I would have done for sure.
Do you know how much it costs to go to Kansas? Just general tuition when you were there?
Now? I mean, I would probably say
now?
that upwards of at least, 35, 40K a year, close to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys listening, especially you student athletes, there are three types of people that you're going to meet when you're on a college campus. And he went to a world-renowned university, the University of Kansas. I went to a world-renowned university, the University of Colorado. Same price tag, I think, for
Yeah, no
CU,
doubt,
about
no doubt.
35, 40K. So there's only three types of people that you're going to meet. And this is why it's so important for you guys to get to college, because
Mm-hmm.
you want to know all three types of these people. You know who those three types of people are? The people that you're going to sit next to in college, you guys, are people that are extremely talented. So, Q, you got there with a football scholarship.
Right,
There's people that get music scholarships. There's people that,
right.
are super smart. They got an academic scholarship. So super talented, you guys. You're gonna meet them there. The second one that you're gonna meet in college, all you young footballers out there, student athletes, is somebody that is connected. Somebody that's
Right,
connected.
right.
Maybe their mom works at the school, or their dad was a president. They got in through a connection to
Yeah,
Duke or
yeah.
to Tennessee.
Right.
So they got talent and they're connected. The third one, you said the price tag, brother. People
Yeah,
that got money.
yeah,
People that got
yeah.
money.
A lot of money.
And if they can pay for 50K a year, some of them are paying that out of pocket, no loan.
Yeah,
Those are the people you're gonna sit next to in school, you guys. When
yeah,
I was at the University of Colorado, and to Q's point, I wish I would have took more advantage of the opportunity to build those relationships.
yeah,
Talent, connected, money.
yeah.
That's college.
That
Okay.
is college,
Um,
hands down,
Yeah.
hands down.
And Miss Cindy said, yes, relationships. Relationships is the new big currency, man.
It
Who
is.
you know, who knows you.
Absolutely, because when you get out of school, and your playing days are over, and you have these awesome relationships, whether it's real estate, banking, whatever it might be, and you have those connections from school. A lot of times, those last in some cases a lifetime. You can always pick up the phone, and
And
that's a good
high
feeling.
school connections too. If
Oh,
you
high
went
school
to
connections too.
a good high
Absolutely,
school,
absolutely. But it just feels good to be, to have those type of connections on hand. That's a good feeling, guys.
no, that's a great point, Q. So hey, take it to the bank, you guys. We went a little extra. I know we came on a little bit later, but we always gonna drop some good food for thought for you so that you guys can cash out and make it happen. One thing that we want you to make happen is, if you aren't signed up for the Before You Go Pro College Tour, if you can get to the San Francisco Bay Area, or you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, join us for the college tour. This is going to be a great opportunity to get your boots on campus, meet the people that can help give you scholarship money. So it's all about exposure, Q. You know that. It's
Yeah,
all about
that's huge.
exposure and getting in front of these people, especially now today,
Yeah,
more
it's
than
competitive.
ever.
Yeah,
And then last but not least, you guys, the Locker Room Show is for you. It's for you. It's our opportunity to give back to you guys, to share the truth, to cover the trending topics. You guys subscribe to the channel so you know whenever we're coming on. And please share,
hit that
especially
button.
if you hit that button, and especially if you know any football players, parents of football players, or coaches. We want this to be an industry phenomenon. So let us support you and let us game you guys up. Q, anything before we get out for the week, brother?
No, just glad I could get in here. Like I said, fighting
It
my
was close.
internet battles, but no, it was a pleasure as usual. Everybody that tuned in, definitely continue to follow us. We'll definitely be having some awesome guests to come throughout, headed towards the season, and looking forward to it.
All right, y'all. So, hey, have a great weekend. We love y'all. We'll see you at the top. Have a good one.